Looks like Mother Nature's having an April Fool's joke on us today. Snow flurries. Hi, welcome back. Today I'll be doing my February wrap-up. Now, I read 11 books total this month, a mixture of audiobooks, physical books, and some manga. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with the manga. I read 4 manga this month. One of my favorite series is Blue Exorcist. This is volume 13. It's by Katsue Kato. And it's about a group of students known as X-Wires. They're training to be exorcists, so they go out and defeat demons. Our main characters are Rin and Yukio Akamura. They're brothers. Yukio has been an exorcist for some time, unbeknownst to his brother Rin, who recently found out, and he has now become one of the X-Wires, and he's training to do the same thing. The thing about Rin is he actually happens to be part demon. He's the son of Satan, through some flux you find out in the story. But anyway, he's going against his, basic nature, and he wants to defeat demons as well. I really am just all caught up in these characters. They're really, really great characters. There's a list of them at the beginning of each book, and kind of where they're at within the story, which I really like. And in this particular story, Izumo, one of our X-Wires, has been captured by an evil group called the Illuminati, and we find out a lot about her background in this story, and it was really intriguing. And I just, like I said, I really like the characters within this, and it's got a lot of action and really a lot of great artwork. You can kind of see within that cover alone. So definitely recommend this one. I gave it 5 stars. Then just a really fun series, accessible to anybody, any age group, is Yoksa Bomb. This is by Kiyohiko Azuma, and I read volumes 6 and 7 this month. Just a really great slice of life story about this little girl named Yoksa Bomb. She lives with her father in Japan, and it's just sort of her exposure to everything new, and the delight and kind of the chaos that happens as she encounters things. They have moved there recently, and the family next door is sort of kind of accepted Yotsuba as like another daughter in the family. There's like one big group, and they go off on excursions and do different things. This one, she gets a new bike. Some cute images in the back to show you the artwork is just really delightful. And in this one, she goes to a farm to see cows and sheep and things. There's one scene in here where she gets so excited seeing sheep at the bottom of the hill, she starts running down there, and her father tries to warn her, "Careful, you're going to lose control." And sure enough, she goes tumbling down the hill, head over heels, smack into a sheep. And I just found myself, laughing out loud. It was just hilarious. A little bit of slapstick humor, but it's super cute, and I definitely recommend this. I usually give these 5 stars all the time. Then I also read Monster by Naoki Urasawa, one of my favorite artists, and this is volume 4 in the Omnibus series, so it contains 2 volumes, basically volumes 7 and 8, where we follow a neurosurgeon by the name of Dr. Tenma. He saved the life of a young boy by the name of Jonah, who ends up becoming a serial killer, and he feels responsible, for saving this evil child, and he's actually under suspicion of these deaths, so twofold reasons to try and track down Jonah, but during this kind of hunt, cross-country and everything, you see him kind of struggling with his own self, like he's almost slipping too far into the darkness and losing himself, his own humanity. So it's interesting to see how the story's going to play out. I really like the artwork of Urasawa. Just really great characters and facial expressions and everything, and just a really intriguing story, and I gave that one 5 stars as well. Moving on to some of the other books, I listened to quite a few audiobooks this month, one of those being Dead Wake by Eric Larson. This is a nonfiction book about the sinking of the Lusitania. I've read several Eric Larson's books before, Devil in the White City being one of my favorites. He just has a way of bringing history to life for people that might not be interested in reading a nonfiction book. They read very much like a fiction story. You get caught up in the action and the adventure and the intrigue. This one I didn't know a whole lot about the sinking of the Lusitania, just that there was belief that there were ammunitions on board and that it made it an actual target for the Germans. This was, of course, during World War I. There's a lot of questions raised, always have been, and they're brought up within this book as to whether maybe the British kind of left it as an open target in a way of hoping to bring Americans into the war sooner. Just a lot of things that kind of went wrong all around. Bad timing was it Destiny, you know, fog rolling in made the captain reduce speed, where the speed was something that they thought would help the ship, avoiding a U-boat attack. Just lots of real interesting questions. I love the way he shifts narrative between, you know, the captain of the Lusitania and the captain of the U-boat. The characters, we learn a lot about the passengers on board the ship, and just very, very well written, and overall I gave that one 4 stars. I also listened to Mary Poppins by P.L. Travers. This is the first book in her series. My first exposure was always, you know, the Disney movie, and I was very disappointed in this, I'll have to say. I did not like Mary Poppins at all. I know I saw Saving Mr. Banks and how she wasn't happy with the way Disney was portraying Mary Poppins and everything, and thought she was, you know, too sweet. I wouldn't say she was that sweet in the movie, but she definitely wasn't within the book. I really didn't like Mary Poppins at all. Sure, she exposes the kids to all this, you know, strange things and magical stuff and everything, and how exciting is that, but she was a very disagreeable nanny, and I wouldn't have liked her around, and I was surprised at how sad the kids were to see her go. I didn't like it at all, and I only gave it 2 stars, and I have no intention of kind of continuing the series. Another audiobook I had to listen to, I say had to because this was for work, was The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni. This is sort of, it's a business book, and it's sort of written more as like a story. You're reading about a new manager that comes in, and she takes her new management team on a retreat to kind of rebuild the team, make them function more properly, and it's all built on the 5 dysfunctions. I won't get into all of them, but one of the major ones at the bottom is trust. If you don't trust the people you work with, how can you engage in conflict and disagreements till you reach an agreement and focus towards like kind of like acceptance and moving forward to accomplish goals and things like that. So we had to read this for our management team, and you know, it is what it is. It's a business book. It was interesting, but overall I just gave it 3 stars. And the last audiobook I listened to this month was Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. This is the second book I've encountered with her, the first one being Gone Girl. Once again, her characters are not very likable. We follow, in this case, Libby Day. She's, I forgot what age she is at this point, but as a 15-year-old, okay, so she's like almost 40, but as a 15-year-old, her mom and her 2 sisters were brutally murdered in this sort of satanic killing, believed to have happened by her, she was 7 at the time of the death of her mom and her 2 sisters, and it was like a satanic killing, believed to have been caused by her 15-year-old brother, Ben. And she was sort of like a witness in a way. She sort of fingered her brother, who has now been locked away for some time. And she has basically been living off like the proceeds of donations that people have sent in for this, you know, young orphan girl, this horrible tragedy. And it seems like she just has no interest in getting a job or doing anything to progress her life. She's just sort of living in this past, living off this past, which has made me, you know, dislike her even more. And her funds are sort of dwindling away. Any books that have been written and royalties that she's gotten from that are kind of slipping away and falling away. So she has no money coming in until a group called the Kill Club kind of approaches her, and they are fascinated by notorious crimes. They would love to talk to her and question her and even buy some memorabilia from her, like photographs from the family, and she actually agrees to do this. Reluctantly at first, but hey, it's money coming in, so they start to question, you know, what did she really see as a 7-year-old? Did she actually see her brother do these things just because he was in the house, or she just assume it was him? It starts to bring up some interesting questions until she's reluctantly kind of goes to talk to her brother in jail for like the first time since the trial and everything, and it opens up all sorts of interesting questions and things. And the mystery was intriguing. I thought it had a satisfactory ending. Unlike Gone Girl, I was never happy with that one. Overall, I gave that one 4 stars, and I think Sharp Objects is one I'd like to try and listen to next, or read, either way. Some of the physical books that I have left, just 3 more. One of them was The Westing Game. This is by Ellen Raskin, Puffin Modern Classic. It's a Newbery Medal winner, middle grade mystery that a friend of mine had suggested. It was one of her favorite books, and she actually bought me a copy. It is about a millionaire, eccentric millionaire by the name of Samuel Westing. He owned a paper mill company, and they sort of built this town around it. And he'd been missing, he kind of just disappeared off the face of the earth, you might say, for quite some time, until one day he returns, and he's found dead like the next day. Now, there are like 16 people living in an apartment high-rise overlooking this estate that are in a way kind of lured into buying up the apartments in that area. They are all named in Samuel Westing's will, and he has sort of turned it into a game. They're paired up in twos, so you have 8 teams of 2, and they have to solve clues that he sort of left behind that will finger who actually murdered him. So yes, one of them is apparently a murderer, and you have quite a group of people in this 16 group of people. All ages, including children and their parents and judges and everything. And there are some dangerous situations that crop up in this book. Even someone, blowing up bombs. And one thing I had trouble with that, besides the fact that there are a little bit too many characters, is that in the cases with the parents with the children, why would you expose your kids to this dangerous situation? You think you'd get out of there as soon as possible. So that was a little iffy. But the mystery behind it and the overall wrap-up of the story was intriguing, and I gave that one 4 stars. Then I read Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This one has been on my list for a while. Just a great classic story. I really found myself intrigued and caught up in this story, but I was surprised how much I disliked all of the characters. Heathcliff particularly is a nasty character. It's just like a tale of obsession and revenge, and I don't know. It's just nuts. Heathcliff having been brought into Cathy's family by their father, who finds him as an orphan, and he sort of adopts him in, but her brother cannot stand him, and that causes all this animosity and kind of launches the story. But I really, really enjoyed this one, and I gave it 5 stars. And the last book, which I won't go into for detail because I'm running out of time and I have trouble uploading if they're too long, but it's Ruta Sepetys' Salt to the Sea. It's kind of a YA historical fiction book. I did a full review on this, and I'll just put a link down below. You can go check it out. But that's my wrap up for February. Let me know if you guys have read any of these and what you thought about them. No spoilers, please. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.